Just in, this news are just in. Джеррис Наггет playing cards is no more. So my name is Alex and today's video is about Джеррис Наггет playing cards, which is apparently no more. So basically you might have heard the news. This one of the rarest decks out there, which go for $500–600 on eBay, is going to be reprinted. So Bill Kalish of Conjuring Arts Research Center, I believe he is the initiator of the campaign, he reached out to Джеррис Наггет Casino and actually got all the rights, permissions and licenses to reprint Джеррис Наггет playing cards officially. And the Kickstarter campaign starts tomorrow, which is kind of crazy, and I have different and kind of ambiguous thoughts about that. So we have filmed a lot of videos explaining why Джеррис Наггет playing cards are rare, what is the reason. So in a nutshell, they were produced in 1970s for the namesake casino. They used this really unique paper stock, and then they used this finish which was produced using the chemicals which were harmful for the environment. These decks really probably never got into real play, and they were sold out, completely sold out in 1999, and right now they're scarce on the market. I was in Vegas 2 years ago when we went to cardistry. We had a short trip to Vegas as well, and I was kind of curious. I visited Джеррис Наггет Casino, and obviously it isn't located in the center of Strip like all these fancy casinos, MGM Grand, Mirage. It's kind of different in there, because if you go and try to play roulette in MGM Grand, for instance, the minimum bet would be $15, and then in Джеррис Наггет Casino it's 50 cents. And you can imagine it attracts different kind of audiences. I'm not sure what was the reason why Джеррис Наггет decided to agree to grant all the rights to reprint all these decks, but I believe image-wise it was a really good decision for both sides, because Conjuring Arts is going to reprint, or actually Expert Playing Card Company is going to reprint these decks, and then Джеррис Наггет brand, people will talk about that. It's a win-win situation for both parties. Still, I have kind of ambiguous thoughts about this campaign. With this being reprinted, a lot of kids who like to flex with rare and exclusive things, they will definitely jump the gun and buy this as low as $12. As far as I'm concerned, this will be the price of reprints for Джеррис Наггет playing cards. And the social media will be flooded with images and videos of reprints, and it's, in a way, it's going to devalue the Джеррис Наггет brand, because then what is the point of splashing the cash on these ones, the original Джеррис Наггет playing cards, if you will have to go through a struggle of proving that you are owning the originals, because in the eyes of the public, Джеррис Наггet playing cards, the original cards, will be considered as a devalued brand, so to speak. So this is the concern that I have right now, but then I'm not trying to judge, because if you've seen the card that I have torn at the beginning of the video, I actually have a few of these, and I can tear any of these cards and I will not regret it, because this is just a paper glued onto the jokers and add cards from different decks. This is a really funny story. Back when I was, I believe, 18 or 19 years old, I used to play a gag on a friend, or actually this is the video that is probably non-existent right now. This was a video for a local contest, and I wanted to flex on other participants that I own a deck of Джеррис. So will it actually affect the price on the second-hand market and like eBay? And as you remember, we filmed a video about a year ago about Golden Nugget, and the point was that we couldn't have found at that moment any listing for Джеррис Наггет playing cards. Why is this the most expensive deck on eBay right now? Because simply Джеррис Наггет playing cards aren't listed anymore on eBay, so this moment has come. Right now there's a ton of them. Either it's coincidence or actually people trying to get rid of their Джеррис as fast as possible before the start of the Kickstarter campaign. And will it actually affect the price of Джеррис Наггет? I believe it might, because of these people being in panic mode and trying to make a quick buck off their Jerrys, if that is the case. But then again, I actually reached out to a reputable eBay seller who sells a few of these, so here's his comment. If the price of vintage Jerrys goes down, it won't be much. It is a prestigious deck for collectors and the number out there is limited. And I think many collectors don't open them, whereas the reprints will be for everyday use. Some people will compare the old and new and will be convinced that the old ones are superior, just as higher-made decks are thought to be superior to Erlanger. I believe it may influence the price and the second-hand market of the original Джеррис Наггет playing cards, but then again, people will still be willing to spend a fortune on these decks because of their history, because of being collectors. Actually, like we always do, we posted the questionnaire on our Instagram, so make sure to follow us at decemberboys, and we asked what people think about the reprints. So 31% thought that it was lame and 69% thought it was cool. So I can imagine that these 31%, some of the people own the deck of Jerrys, and I own a deck of Jerrys, and I should be kind of pissed because right now I don't feel that exclusive anymore. But that was not the reason why I bought this deck. The reason why I bought this deck is because of what it represents. I used this for 8 years and it still holds up its shape, which is really impressive. I use this knowing that these were popularized by people like Chris Kenner, Lee Asher, Dan and Dave Buck. It's basically the only reason why I'm kinda have ambiguous thoughts about this Kickstarter campaign. But then again, I'm not invested in Джеррис Наггет playing cards. In terms of, I don't own the stock of Джеррис Наггет Casino, I am not an owner of Джеррис Наггет Casino, I did nothing to make these cards popular in early 2000s, and why should I be upset? And why should anyone be upset? It is what it is, and this Kickstarter campaign is a great opportunity for people to own a deck of Джеррис Наггет. After they buy this deck of playing cards, they will own a deck of Джеррис Наггет. And you like it or you don't like it, you really can't do anything about that, because these will be licensed, properly credited and attributed. The cards will look practically the same. So, I mean, I really want to know your opinion, guys, and for that, please drop a like if you are all for this idea of reprints, and we'll probably cop some, and drop a dislike if you don't like the fact that this will be reprinted, and leave us a comment if you think that this release is cool, and maybe buy some Джеррис Наггет. Buy some from our site, please, bro.